Okay, hi there. I don't know if you've seen what's just happened in the last couple of minutes, but I did try actually to take you outside to show you. There's some men who are working down. There's a huge hedge outside down below one of our neighbors, and every year they get these guys to come and trim it. And so what they do is quite fascinating. Anyways, if I never recorded that, it wasn't in a live prior, just 2 seconds ago. My apologies, but I wanted to show you something different. Anyways, I hope you're having a great day. Hope you had a great weekend. I'm Karen Lanoux from No Limits Businesswoman, and this is No Limits Live, and I'm really glad that you're here with me today. If as we go along, just if you have any comments or questions, please just go around, or if you're liking the content, just give me a hello or a thank you, or just press a like button. That would be awesome. So today we're going to talk about mastering follow through. And this is particularly something that's really important. This is something that I help my clients with because, of course, what we do is we're working on procrastination and self-sabotage. And following through is, that's a big part of that, right? And so, hey, Donna, I see you're watching. Glad to have you with me. So what happens, again, is that when we do this, we actually start getting stalled in our business and or our career because we're not following through on the stuff that we need to do. So I'm wondering, how are you at follow through? Is it just kind of situational where some things you're really good at, some things not so much? In your private life, your personal life, you're the follow through queen and you get everything done. And in your business, not so much. Or vice versa. You're, really good at follow through in your business, but not in your personal life. Or again, in your business, are there specific tasks that you're really good at and following through? So let's say you really like talking to people, so you like sales calls. And so you follow through on those, but sending emails it's, you just lost the last thing you want to do. So when you start to identify that, you can actually start then to do something about it. And again, this looks like all kinds of different things, right? So again, in our business or our career, we may not be sending emails. So years ago, one of the things that I hated to do was send emails. I really literally hated to send emails because I felt like I was bothering people, right? It's like, I don't want to bother people. It's like, they were waiting, they signed up, to hear from me. So I should send them emails. Anyways, I hated doing that. It was a fear that I had that I was bothering people. And also that I was going to get feedback that I didn't like and I didn't want to hear. I was afraid of that. Or somebody was going to say I was doing something wrong. For some people, it's just they won't follow through on phone calls. And there's all kinds of reasons like that. They just don't like to do it. They don't like to, again, they might feel like they're bothering people. There might be a fear of rejection. Or that they're doing it wrong, or they're not doing well enough, right? Or somebody's going to ask them a question they don't like, right? Or they're not going to know how to answer. Hey, Asha, good to have you here. Thanks for being here. Asha is in either New Zealand or Australia. I think it's New Zealand still. And I know Donna is in Calgary in Alberta. So again, thanks for joining me, you guys. And then again, where we're just not acting on opportunities, people have actually reached out to us, again, whether it's in our career or business, and we're not following up on them. They might ask us a question. They might want more information about who we are and what we do, and if we can help them. And we don't want to, we don't follow through. And there's all kinds of reasons for that. There's all kinds of other things that happen in our career and business that we might not be following through on. It could be something that we actually really hate doing, right? It's just, it's all, it could just be, sorry, I just got distracted for a second. It could be something that we really don't like doing. It could just be a boring task. It could be, doing our finances. It could be doing something else. Like it could be, just inputting stuff into the computer. It could be managing our people that we have around us. It could be managing our staff or even our vendors, those kinds of things. And so what we want to start to look at is this, is this a time issue? Because if it's a time issue and it's like, okay, we are really busy, we have too much to do, then that's one thing, okay? We're not mastering follow through because it's a time issue, then we want to start to look at that. What is that? What can we do about that? What are the actual physical actions that we can do to do that? One of those things could be delegating, right? One of it could be, if you're working in a career, you could be talking to your supervisor or your staff and actually, again, giving them more stuff to do, or telling your supervisors, like, I'm running out of time in the day. What things are my priorities, right? So again, you're getting really clear about that kind of thing. Or again, like I say, it's a task you just don't like doing. If it's a task you don't like doing, then you need to schedule it. That's really just the only thing I can suggest, is you just need to schedule it or reframe it, okay? You need to reframe about, this is a choice as opposed to an obligation. If I'm in this job or if I have this business, it is a choice. If I can choose to send an email or not send an email, but if I don't send an email, what's going to happen is likely we're losing opportunities. We're not making the money that we could be making, okay? We're actually leaving money on the table. Good God, if you're in business or in your career, if that's going to stall you, that's the one thing that's hugely going to stall you. So you do not want to do that, right? So again, you want to just make sure that you are taking action. So if it is something that you just don't feel like doing, or it's just something you don't like doing, schedule it. Put it in as the first thing that you do in the day. Okay. And I know it's like, oh God, it's the last thing I want to do, but really, honestly, just schedule it. Even before you look at your emails, because, for most people, emails run our day, which is a whole other topic, right? So we don't want to do that. But again, what is it that we could, or put it in as, not, I wouldn't put it in at the last thing of your day. Put it in just before lunch, or just after lunch, or just after a break. Again, where it's something that okay, this is the time I'm going to do this, and just do it, right? So again, the follow through on those tasks. If it's a fear, and I'll talk about that in a moment, but here's the thing: if we don't solve this, we just start to feel worse and worse about ourselves. We feel less able. We feel like we aren't accomplished, and we start to think that there's something wrong with us, and there really isn't anything wrong with us. We're like everybody else on the face of the planet, because everybody does this. Everybody does this. And so it really is just finding some tactics that will work for you. And there are things that will work for you. Again, so we want to get out of that sense of, I just feel badly about myself. What also happens for us is that we start to get this noise in our head, because it's one of those things that's like kind of like a tap on the shoulder. Oh, I should have brought down my gremlin with me, the fuggler. I should have had him on my shoulder, kind of going, because that's what happens, is that it's like this tap on our shoulder all the time, and it's really in our head. It's like tapping, 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 saying, what are you doing? You're not doing this. What a loser you are. God, can't you do this? What's wrong with you? And then there's another part of you saying, no, don't do it. Don't do it. No, don't do it. And when that kind of thing happens, again, there's that fear. You want to start to find ways to actually change that up. Because when you do this, what happens for you is when you start to solve this problem, you start to feel better about yourself. You can actually get energized. You get more done. Seriously. How many times have you actually been looking at, you've been at your desk or about to do something, instead just like, oh, I wonder what somebody's doing on Facebook. Or, suddenly my closet needs to be cleaned out, or my desk needs to be cleaned out, or I need to fix my website. A gazillion things, right? And so when we clear this out, when we start to change this for ourselves, again, we just, amazing things start to happen again. But most of all, what happens is that you start to see more opportunities for yourself. Okay. You start to see what's possible. And that's really what this is all about, is what's actually creating more possibility in your life and in your business, in your career. Gosh. And, that's what I do with my clients every day, is start to actually expand that. So what is that opportunity? What is that that would make a huge difference for them. Part of this is, again, if there's a fear there, there's a fear of taking action. And I'll give you an example. There was a gal that had worked with me some time ago, and her biggest fear was sending out emails. And it wasn't about actually the process of sending out emails. What happened is that she had this story in her mind that she would have to, she wanted to write the right words for everybody. And if she didn't write the right words, then she was going to actually mess it up big time. And therefore lose a prospect. So it almost felt better not doing anything at all than sending the email and writing this email. So in her mind, what happened is she created this huge story about what needed to be done to proceed, actually doing the thing that she wanted to do. She had to kind of, sit down and write this long email and come up with all the things that would be really good. Here's what I would suggest, and here's what I did suggest in this instance is create a template. I mean, I can tell you this happens more often than you might expect, but create a template. Create something that's just like 3 paragraphs, 4 paragraphs. I mean, it depends on the complexity of your business, of course, right? But I can pretty much tell you, if you're in a business that has 1, 2, 3 products or services, you're pretty much going to say the same thing every time, right? So it's like there's an introduction, there's an ending, and then in the middle is the guts, where you talk about all the great things about how your service or product can solve their problem, right? And and maybe those things change. The middle part changes, the guts of it. But when you change that, when you create that template, it makes it a lot easier. So then, when you go to write the next one, it gets way easier. So what happens again is that we start to create more opportunities for yourself. We actually have the ability to, hey Asha, thank you. Thanks for jumping in, and thank you so much for the compliments. You have a great day too, Asha, and she's in Sydney. She's in Sydney, Australia now. So again, thank you, Asha. Wonderful to have you here. So where was I at? I don't know. I was counting on my fingers, so whatever that is, I'll get back to that. I'll figure it out. But again, your life gets easier. You make more money. You feel better about yourself, and you free up your mental energy when you do this. When you start to look after what is getting in your way, all those things start to happen and you feel more energized. And I actually know this is possible for all of us. So it's just taking doing some particular tactics that make a difference for you. So Tammy just asked, email template. It's like, yeah, an email template where, again, it's just like if you have to send out emails to people and their prospects, let's say, or or even if it's you're sending out emails to your list, let's say, and you don't know what to write about, sit down and write down 10 things that, write down 10 things that they currently have issues with, right? What are their biggest challenges? And you could write 10 emails in a day, or you could actually sit down and write one at a time, but then here's your list. That's what I do. I have a list of all the things that I want to talk about, or as I'm talking to people, or as I'm talking to my clients, I start to write down where are the biggest challenges that they come up against all the time. But again, for sales, if you're in sales and you're writing you're writing something and sending something to your prospects, then again, you just want to 3, 4, 5 paragraphs tops, right? Again, there's a beginning, there's an end, and then there's the guts that talks about what it is that you can do for them, what your services are, what are their specific needs, outline those, and that will make the difference, right? Then that's your template. Use it the next time, but then you just change the guts out, right? So that's what I mean by an email template. So here's the thing, when I talk to people, when I talk to women about working with me, one of the biggest surprise questions that seems to happen for them is when I ask them, on their particular challenge, and whether in this case it could be follow through. If you're not following through, what's the cost of this to you? And it's it's one of those questions that for a lot of people, it's just like, oh, wow, I never even thought about that. By not doing this, by not taking action on the procrastination, by not taking action on following through, there is a cost. And at the very outset, the cost is it's mental energy, right? Because it's draining us. Because again, it's like this tapping on our shoulder saying, you haven't done that yet. You got to do it. When are you going to do it? And the other part, the other gremlin on the other shoulder's going, you don't want to do it. What if you do it wrong? Who are you? Who do you think you are? You're not good enough to do this. And so it's draining us. It's totally mentally draining us. And so that's a cost, right? Because then that affects everything else that we're doing. If we're working with clients, if we're working with customers, that affects them as well, right? It affects your interaction with them because it's like there's this noise going on in the background. So you want to take care of that as soon as possible. But again, there's actually also most likely financial cost as well, because if you're not contacting prospects, if you're not connecting with your clients, if you're not connecting with your list, if you're not connecting with people who, if you're not taking action on following through on something that you said you would do for somebody, then you are not, you're losing credibility as well, right? And then you're not only losing credibility to the people that you're working with or potential people you could be working with, but you're also losing credibility with yourself. And that has the potential to send you into a spiral. So you want to look after this. So getting back to the fear, again, you want to start to identify, well, what's the fear? What's the worst thing that I think could happen? Start to identify that. And then what you want to do is start to find a way to actually clear that out, clear that belief out, because it's a belief, right? And if it's something you've been doing over and over and over again, I want you also to think, how long have you been doing that? How long has this been an issue for you? Is it just, the last week? Is it the last year? Is it the last 5 years? Honestly, if that's the case, that's cost you so much money and so much time and energy and so much to, again, just your self-confidence. So we want to change that. So when you can start to ask different questions and say, okay, what is this real fear? What's a belief that I have about this? What's the worst that I think is going to happen? And what would I like to have happen instead? And so you want to switch to that belief. And there's all kinds of ways to do that. Certainly one of the things that I do with my clients is to start to switch them to a different belief. I also clear out the energy because there's usually a lot of gunk in a lot of associations that we've made that's gunk, right? A lot of associations we've made for ourselves with our beliefs and our fears. And when we start to clear out the energy of that, when we start to change that belief, and I do that with my QC3 method, with the clearing process, and it's so powerful. What just happened for one of my gals the other day is we've cleared a bunch of stuff out for her. And now in terms of making sales calls or sending out emails, so much easier, right? She actually is starting to look forward to it. So can you imagine? Can you actually imagine what would happen then on those sales calls? Do you think she's going to be different on the sales call? Do you think her emails are going to be different? 100%, right? So then what they're finding is that there's more money coming in, just because difficult emails have to go out as well, right? So there's more money coming in. So again, there's a direct correlation between clearing out these beliefs and your income. So how cool is that? Now, again, I don't care whether you're an entrepreneur and you have your own business, or you are, or you're in a career, right? If you're not looking after things and there's a fear there, you're leaving money on the table for yourself. And more importantly, honestly, is you're affecting your self-esteem the longer you let this go on. So again, you want to find ways to clear that out. And if you'd like me to help you with that, that's what I do through my 12-week mastermind. So if you'd like to chat about working together, just set up a call with me. Go to nolimitsbusinesswoman.com/talk. And, you know, it's no strings. We could just chat, find out where you're at, what's getting in your way, and if I can help you, that's it. And you're going to know by the end what the strategies are that you need to take in order to move forward. You know, you're going to know that there's some specific tools that you're going to need in order to move forward. So get clarity on that. So again, just go to nolimitsbusinesswoman.com/talk. I would love to chat with you. But again, remember, you know, here's the thing. What happens for us is that when we are not following through, if it's a time issue, then, you know, again, you need to talk to somebody or delegate. Okay. You need to talk to your supervisor and ask them what the priorities are, or, you know, get them to delegate to somebody else. If it's your own business, delegate. Okay. And if it's a task that you just don't like doing, schedule it. Just, you know, really just schedule it and just do it. Okay. And look, you know, when you do that, you will feel so much better. And the last thing is actually clearing out the fear. Those are the keys to mastering follow through. And when you do that, life's going to be better. You're going to have more energy, more fun, and more money, and more confidence in yourself. How awesome is that? So if you want to ask some questions, make sure you just go ahead and plug in your questions down below. If you're elsewhere other than on the my Karen Lanoux International Business page on Facebook, I'm not going to be able to see them. If you're on the group, I'm not going to be able to see them. But if you're in the group, the No Limits Businesswoman group, ask them there. You know, later I'll come in and I'll answer any of your questions. Happy to do that. But you know, and if you're not part of that group, the easiest way to go there's two things. Is you can actually just take a look on Facebook, just No Limits, just plug into the search bar, No Limits Businesswoman, and you will find us. You'll find the group. Come, just ask to join. Or even easier, just go to sheis.me. Sheis.me, and that will take you there. Just ask to join if you're not already a member. So thank you so much for being here with me today. I'm so thrilled that you were here and spent some time with me today. Again, if you're watching this later, again, ask your questions, any of your comments. If you liked it, that would be awesome. All right. Have an awesome day. Until next week, geez, see, I always do this. I don't know what I'm doing next week. But anyways, I'll be here same time, same bat place, same bat station, we'll do something different in the house or a different location in the house today, next time. And I would love if you would join me. All right, take care and have a fabulous day. Bye-bye.